Hello, I'm ABX Toycat, and welcome back to another video. Today I have some more Minecraft console news to share with you all, because we now have the official TU31 changelog. This means we can go through every single official feature from the next big update, and I can talk about it a little bit and let you know what you should be excited for next week. So please do like the video if you're just as excited as I am, because this is very big news. And yeah, let's get straight into the video then, shall we? So let's start by mentioning that this isn't every single feature from the next update, this is every single official feature. So every update there's always some secret features that don't make it on the changelog, and of course this one's probably not going to be an exception, but this does include a lot more stuff than previous changelogs, so just bear that in mind. And it's sorted by category, so it's got stuff like new blocks, new mobs, new biomes, but I'm going to start kind of in the more interesting order, and then we're going to go over the updated features. So let's start with the new biomes that are coming. The Mesa biome is coming, the Mesa Taiga biome, the Roof Forest, the Birch Forest, the Forest, Savannah, Extreme Hills Plus, that's kind of a different version of the Extreme Hills, Deep Ocean, Snowless Taiga, and 20 new technical biomes. So if you wonder what they mean by technical biomes, basically there's a bunch of different variants of all of those biomes, and a few more variants of the current biomes. So for instance, the the Roof Forest, it's not just one version, there's a more mountainous version. The Mesa has the Mesa Bryce biome, which is really, really cool. And in general, this just kind of tells us all of the biomes from the PC are going to be coming to the console. And the big one that you might be like, oh, why do we need that, is Deep Ocean. Deep Ocean is the way you get the ocean monuments, which is where gardens come from. So just a keeping piece of information there. Really cool stuff. The Guardian is going to have its own biome and its own structure, which is cool like that. Speaking of the the Guardian, there is actually a bunch of new mobs coming in the next update. So there is actually 5 of them. There is the Guardian, there is the Elder Guardian, there is the Endermite, the Rabbit, but also the Chicken Jockey. That's right, the Chicken Jockey is something a lot of people think is in the current game, but it is in fact coming in the next update for the first time. So if you ever wanted to see a chicken riding a zombie, or sorry, a zombie riding a chicken, it could be called the other way around too, that's something you'll be able to see after the next update. And there's also going to be a bunch of new blocks. So the official list here is Podzol, Granite, Polished Granite, Andesite, polished andesite, diorite, polished diorite, prismarine, dark prismarine brick, red sandstone, smooth red sandstone, chisel red sandstone stairs, sea lanterns, wet sponge, slime blocks, coarse dirt, packed oak, acacia saplings, dark oak saplings. Now the really interesting thing here is you'll notice they don't include the smooth sandstone stairs. These are something that are generally known to be a part of this next thing, which makes me think that we know for a fact that there's some secret features not on this changelog. We've literally seen them in a screenshot, whether by accident or not, which tells us that there's at least some amount of secret stuff going on here. So if you're missing something, don't worry, it's probably there. So next up we have new items, which is armor stand, raw rabbit, cooked rabbit, rabbit stew, raw mutton, cooked mutton, rabbit's foot, rabbit hide, potion of leaping, potion of water breathing, salmon, cooked salmon, clownfish, pufferfish, blue orchid, basically all the flowers. I'm not going to say them by themselves because I can't pronounce them all. The poppy is replacing the rose. It says that here, but this is actually from a previous update. The rose bush, peony, double tall grass, large ferns, prismarine crystals, and the prismarine shard. And then creative mode only is all of the spawn eggs. Interestingly here, they mention how there's the rabbit spawn egg, the endermite spawn egg, and the guardian spawn egg. So again, they didn't mention the elder guardian spawn egg, which makes it less likely, but not definitely unconfirmed. And also, they didn't mention any of these new features, the banner blocks. So I do imagine we'll probably be getting the banner, and we'll probably be getting the smooth sandstone, but they're not mentioned here. It's just something worth mentioning before you're like, rabble. This seems to be, just their official list. They always have some things not on here. So next up, we have the updated features. So this is where they've taken a feature that's existing in the game and made it match different. So the first one and the big one, if you're in the late game of Minecraft, is Enchanting. So the official list on Enchanting is now consumes lapis lazuli. Enchanting has been rebalanced, and enchanted books can receive multiple enchantments at once. That's a pretty cool little change right there. As far as fishing goes, fishing now has particle effects. Bubbles actually move towards the bobber for the player to something to do. Basically just means that it's like a fish going towards the hook rather than just it's come out of nowhere. Treasure can now be caught while fishing, and then treasure is actually one of 3 separate things: fish, treasure, and junk. I've gone through that in my fishing tutorials. It basically means you can get really cool things. Rarely you can get fish, which you'll get most of the time, which is 4 new fish now. And you can also just get random stuff like boots or a damaged fishing rod, a water bottle, stuff you don't really want, but you might actually care about, because there is there's stuff like bowls that you might really need at some point. Just something worth bearing in mind there. You can get treasure while fishing now. So villages have been changed so that villages have new professions and trading schemes. Villagers will now harvest crops. Villagers will only breed when willing, and can be made willing by giving them 3 breads, 12 carrots, or 12 potatoes, which is really, really interesting right there. And villagers will turn into witches when struck by lightning. Again, it's one of those things that I think is in the game right now, and I'm not too sure about, but even if it's not, it's it's a small feature you're probably not going to run into. But if you do want to strike a villager with lightning, you can make a witch. So next up, Nether Portal. New Nether Portal building rules, a rectangular shape from 4x5 to 23x23. This is brand new. We have not seen this one yet. This is one that didn't show up any screenshots, but we now know it's coming because if a portal in the Nether is big enough, gas can travel through into the overworld and can be activated by any fire block within the frame. That's really, really exciting to me. 23 by 23 portals is such a cool idea, and I'm looking forward to building one just for the giggles of it. So yeah, that's the new Nev portal. Dispenser can place pumpkins or wither skeleton skulls to spawn golems and withers. Again, that's something a lot of people think is right now, but it's actually going to be new, and will only place them if the body of the golem or wither is already built with a valid configuration. So if you place the last wither skeleton skull, you can now do that redstone, which is kind of scary if you think about it, and you can do the same with iron golem. The anvil has been rebalanced. The crafting has a bunch of new recipes, which I mentioned in my quick video, which is moss stone, mossy stone bricks, and chiseled stone bricks. And then through the furnace, you can get the cracked stone brick, and you can get a sponge, because normally you can only get the wet sponge from the water temple, which comes up later, don't worry. But yeah, empty furnaces will only accept fuel and empty fuel buckets in the slot, and also when a furnace runs out of fuel, the smelting progress will rewind at 2 times speed. So just a little change right there. Item frames will now emit a redstone signal and can rotate in 8 directions. Pretty cool little thing right there, because each when the redstone signal is actually changed based on which direction you rotate them. And also, if you just want to have a sword, which isn't just one of the 4 angles we have right now, there's basically 4 more ways you can rotate things, which is cool if you want to have your helmet at a slight angle or just something like that. Something you can do right there. So the button can now be placed on the top and bottom of blocks. Powered activator rails now dismount entities running minecarts, and cauldrons with water in them will put out burning entities, taking out 1 water level each time. This is something that people would never believe me on. It's like, oh, no, you take a cauldron to the Nether, it'll work. It doesn't work. It's something we tried, and I did in a UHC once, I believe, and that taught me a lesson. So yeah, cauldrons will now actually put you out in the Nether. So if you're really scared of the Nether, something you can bring with you is a cauldron. That's going to be in a little Nether tips video, I reckon, at some point, and just something to bear in mind. The huge mushroom block, or the mushroom block as it's currently known, is going to be changing to the huge mushroom block, and basically it means that when you silk touch a mushroom, it's a little secret, instead of just getting the mushroom block, you'll get a different huge mushroom depending on which mushroom you mine. So you can get the red huge mushroom and the brown huge mushroom, which is just a nice change, because right now, if you want to build something out of mushroom, you have to use, the giant mushrooms, or you have to get this weird, doesn't look like either one of the mushrooms mushroom. Just didn't make any sense. New system's much better. So the sponge has been reintroduced to survival mode with new behavior and texture. Again, I think they copy this directly from the PC changelogs, because they're not reintroduced on the console. They're, it was on the PC in survival mode in alpha way back in like 2010, and the console didn't exist back then. So just a fun little fact you might have noticed. But yeah, sponge turns into a wet sponge when it sucks up water. Water particles appear around the sponge when this happens. Sponge destroys water blocks from 5 blocks away in a kind of sphere. Sponge soaks up water only when water is touching it. Sugarcane color/shade is affected by biome color. That's a pretty cool one if you ask me. On the same biomes note, the swamp biome has now been changed to have blue orchid flowers, and it will actually have some slightly different parts with lily pads between small staggered dirt blocks. It's basically just changing up the swamp biome. The jungle biome can have melons spawn naturally in them. Again, kind of cool. And the plains biome will generate 3 of the new flowers: azure bluets, oakside daisies, and sometimes tulips, and also tall grass. So as well as that, there's extreme hill biomes snowing at higher elevations, because basically every biome is going to have a temperature off this update. If you go to a certain certain height of this biome, in the extreme hills biome case, it's like 130 blocks, it actually starts snowing, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Flat valleys in the sea biomes and can generate slightly higher now, which is a nice little change. So yeah, that's as well as those changes, there's a change to the ocean biome, so that you can get obviously the water temple, and also containing gravel on the floor instead of just sand or gravel. So yeah, cool little change to the ocean biome. But yeah, so as well as that, we've got baby zombie dropping XP orbs, creeper being ignited with the flint and steel in survival, a cool little change if you ask me. The zombie pigment, the adult zombie pigment, will forgive you after a short amount of time, but continue attacking until the player escapes their aggro distance. The witch is going to be changing, so it'll actually drink a potion of water breathing if you trap it underwater, and will drink and drops a potion of water breathing as a new drop. So pretty cool little thing right there. So finally, we're coming very close to the end, I assure you. I know you're like, geez, how many features in this update? But yeah, it keeps on going, and it's pretty cool like that. But yeah, there's 3 new enchantments: Luck of the Sea, Lore, which are both for fishing rods, and then Depth Strider, which is for boots and allows you to go through water faster. And then finally, we're on the changes and fixes. So these are just smaller things, but they're things worth mentioning. So sheep now drop mutton when they die. Of course, mutton was mentioned earlier. Arrows decelerate much more quickly underwater and extinguish if on fire. Most mobs can now swim. Skeletons flee from wolves. Creepers, skeletons, wither skeletons, zombies will drop their heads when killed by charged creepers. Spiders no longer see players through solid blocks, and babies growth can be accelerated by feeding them. So right now, this only applies to horses. It's going to apply to all the mobs, so if you want to have an adult pig right now, you can make that happen. So as well as that, there's a fix for players adding additional layers above the maximum height in super flat, and they also updated the noise for flint and steel and fire charge, as well as the cow, mushrooms, and minecarts. So the final feature on this change list, the big one, the one that we kind of knew about, but it's exciting to read anyway, is they've created a new tutorial world. These tutorial worlds will be getting bigger and better every single update. We've seen a sneak peek at this one, and I'm excited to explore that. Day one this update comes out, I will be exploring it, and that's that. So that's every single brand new feature in this changelog. I'll do some quick comments because we're at 10 minutes already. Basically, I'm upset at the lack of a banner. I'm hoping they just missed out the banner for some reason, but they haven't shown off in a screenshot, and maybe they didn't want to get the crafting system working. I hope that's not the case because the banner's so cool, but I really do think because of how many other things they made slight mistakes with, that there's either going to be some stuff in here that's, you know, a little bit of a secret, or there's just stuff that they forgot to put on there. They didn't mention the ice spikes, even though that's one of the bigger light biomes, and they even did a whole screenshot on it. So we'll have to see when the update does come out. As far as exactly, you know, whether this is something we expected, below or above average, I think this is exactly what we expected. It's everything from 1.7 and 1.8, with a few exceptions, like I said. The banners, potentially, the amplified biomes, but mostly it's everything we're expecting. So all cool stuff in this next update. I'm very excited. I'd like to know what you think in the comments down below, and otherwise, please do like the video if you do like it, because it helps out the channel a lot, and lets me know you do like it. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!